Hey gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and I want to bring you the economic collapse news about, first of all, the U.S. Mint that makes silver dollar coins for 2019. They've already sold out. Okay, plus they've already sold out to 2018. This probably hasn't happened for I don't know when, but for quite a long time, because most people in America don't understand real money versus fake money. Okay, real money where you have to expend energy to dig, to find, to locate gold and silver, versus a guy with a printing press printing money. So in a very long time, there's a shortage of silver. Now, why silver versus gold? Because very many people can't afford to buy an ounce of gold, so they're going to do maybe an ounce of Eagle coins because they're a lot less expensive, and people speculate that it's going to go up a lot more because of the gold and silver ratio that's messed up. And part of the reason that is because there's a lot of paper assets. What I mean is that people don't actually own the physical, right? They don't actually own it, right? They own like a piece of certification that some other institution like JP Morgan will have the gold. Now, JP Morgan, on paper looks like they're holding a lot of silver, okay? But why didn't the US Mint go to them and buy more? Because they're not saying when they're going to have any for 2019. So I think this is a good idea, because usually investors and retail people, they usually run into gold and silver when they feel like they don't have confidence in the economy. They feel like it's gonna go pop, which I think is a smart move. Okay, not any financial advice, but for myself, I got into silver and gold in 2015, in the 2015 and the beginning of 2016. In 2016, I threw my hands up. I made a video for you guys on my YouTube channel saying, guess what? I'm getting out of the real estate business because there's too much of a bubble. Now, there's a lot of YouTubers, actually 2 that I know right now. They have a lot more subscribers than me. There's a couple and another dude. And if you listen to their story, one of them got into the real estate business in 2016. The other one quit his job in 2017, decided to be an entrepreneur. And if you listen to these individuals, which were great people, but you're going to be part of the sheep, because if they knew so much, right, they would have done it in 1999. They would have been an entrepreneur, and they weren't. Now, I have props for them for wanting to be a self-thinker and be an entrepreneur. But just listen to what I said. 2016, I said, hey, no more. Real estate is no good. This is a guy that had a rap car. This is a guy that had a brokerage firm. This is a guy that had rental houses. I was on the streets talking to people, motivated sellers, and etc. I said, I'm out. Now, there are people out here that just got into the real estate in 2016 and they thought this is the best time ever. And it is the best time ever because it's going up and up. So anyone can make money when it's going up, because, they're getting high off their own, whatever. And it's building their confidence up. So It's a good sign that the market is coming down is a shortage of silver, and we can see that with the U.S. Mint. Okay, let's move forward to corporate debt exploitation. Now, in 2016, what we had that caused the bubble is that Wall Street was packaging up bunch of loans. Okay, and some of them were like, if I could explain, like loans in A, B, C, D. A lot of them were A, some of them B, some of them C's, and there were some D's and F's in there that were called subprime. Bundle it up and sell it on Wall Street, on the stock market, to anyone that wanted to buy part of it into mortgage-backed securities. Okay, I think this practice is starting to happen a little bit more. You can see it in the auto industry. I brought to you guys 7 million car owners are defaulting. They're 90 days behind. Okay, which eventually will translate to their mortgages. Some of them have, at least half of them, 30% of them, 25% of them have mortgages, which will be defined in delinquent. Okay, because they can't get to work. But that's a different story. Coming to this story is that corporate debt is gonna, in my opinion, was gonna pop and cause other stuff to spill over into like real estate, because people are not gonna have jobs or gonna have less of a job. Because in the last crash, it was mortgage-backed securities and subprime loans. Now they'll have some influence in there as well. Go ahead and click the like, guys, and let's share this video so everyone gets to hear it. All right. In the last crash was subprime loans, mortgage-backed securities. I think that in this crash, it's hard to say, but I think that corporate debt is so high. Okay, corporations got massive tax cuts to the new president, and they're buying their own stocks and propping the stock market. Okay, plus they got so much easy money that they're able to expand, even though they may not have great products. Great example is Ford, GMC, not making cars anymore. I brought that to you guys on my blog also months ago. So once the bubble pops, it's going to be because I believe that big corporations, they're going to lay off people, and that's going to lead into people not defaulting on their homes. Okay. Now we also have global slowing down, which can also cause the avalanche. Okay, what do I mean? Like if you look at Italy right now, they're 2 quarters in contraction, or what's defined as a recession. Okay, Germany having problems. In France, there's problems. There's so much problems that there's civil unrest. If you guys don't know, please get on YouTube and type in France yellow vest and see what's going on. Average people, citizens of the country, okay, that have college degrees, that have 1 job, 2 jobs, and they still can't pay for food because of inflation and the 1%, okay, controlling everything. And so there's a revolution or revolt right there. This is the 15-week, guys. 15-week. I mean, now if you listen to Fox or NBC, maybe they don't televise it. I say maybe because I don't watch. I don't have a TV, nor do I watch that stuff. But whenever I get a glimpse of it, okay, where I am, they're painted as people that are against the government, etc. No, they're just the average people that went to college, that got into debt. Now they're working 40 hours and they still can't pay the bills, and they're borrowing more in debt, and they still can't pay the bills. They're getting more into debt, and their government is taxing them. They're putting more taxes on their fuels, and they just can't do it anymore, and they're just on the streets. Okay, so global slowdown. Okay, tariffs with China, or etc., can cause the next thing, which is called war. Now, if you look at right now, which is the new terror, the new attention, the new war right now is going to be Venezuela and Iran. Okay, and that's the thing. Okay, now why do we want both of these countries? Okay, well, we want Venezuela because it's a highly rich country. Now people say, well, if it's so rich, why is it in the situation that it is today? Well, pretty simple. We live in a country, or we live in in a world that is very intertwined. If you don't believe me, just look at your shirt, look at your pants, look at your socks, see where they come from. Most likely not in America. So that means that things are getting shipped everywhere in the world. So Venezuela is poor because there's sanctions which don't allow the government or the companies out there to exchange with other people, right? Other parts of the world, which causes this problem. So the country is very, very rich. And also because of the petrodollar and the relationship with Saudi Arabia and all the guns we sell them, we, and with our OPEC, like I said, Saudi Arabia, with the petrol situation, reserve currency, somehow control the oil prices, and we're making the Venezuela not be able to sell their oil because of sanctions, and if they do, they got to sell it for a lot less. So why are we doing that to these people? Because the last government or dictator or president, whatever you want to call it, it just depends on what channel you listen to. Fox will say dictator, this will say something else. Okay, whatever. The leader, I don't like Big Brother, so the Big Brother was giving the money back to the people, which it sounds like, they say, hey, socialism is bad. But if you look at the statistics, like, a lot of people went from poverty to living a good life because in that country they sold the oil, and they paid for the poor people, right? Now, capitalism, big corporations, they don't want that. They want that stuff for themselves. They want everyone to be in poverty and working all the time and just be a slave. So they don't want that. Same thing with Iran. They don't want that. They want to get the natural resources there. It's a big oil reserve. Okay. Now, when I say the big corporations, you guys got to understand. For example, if you ever had a Kit Kat, right? Well, Kit Kat is owned by Nestle, and Nestle, they own so many companies. They own, for example, makeup, like LOR something, and that company owns so many different things like Polo, Ralph Lauren's, and Armani, and so on and so on. Then they own like a bunch of different animal foods. Then they own a bunch of different stuff for babies like Gerber, and then they own the candy industry. And there's so many different types of candies from, I can't remember all, but I'll do a video for you guys. So this one company owns so many different companies that most people don't even understand. Like everything you ever eat, like from the chips to the food, like Hot Pockets, these guys own all this stuff, right? So it's really, for the average person that doesn't do their own due diligence, which means they don't do their own research, okay, it looks like all these different companies, like, so if you're not going to eat Hot Pockets, you're going to get something else, you think it's, you're giving money to someone else, but it's not. It's the same exact pockets, okay? So there's so many of these companies that are what I call the elites, and they have best interests, like Standard Oil, right? They own, Chevron, Exxon, all same stuff. They just have different names, dude, different LLCs or different corporation, but the same person or the same family controls this stuff, okay? So these influencers and where we live, they buy out the governments through, what do you think? Lobbyists. It's called lobbyists. They buy governments through lobbyists, dude. And here's the thing: me and you cannot buy government agencies like Congress or the House because we could only vote. But these guys, not only can they vote, they have bukus of dollars, right? And they're buying lobbyists left and right, okay? And if you don't believe me, please take out a little time. So when we think we live in the world of, freedom, we're just being fooled and shammed because the big corporations control everything, and the central bankers are giving them money, which is fake money that's printed, and everyone else is working and trading their time. A doctor's trading his life away for some fake papers. A nurse, everyone's doing the same thing, unless you get out the metrics like that movie, right? You understand that, right? You say, hey, I don't need all this material things, right? Like, that's why I went minimalist. If you look back to my YouTube channel, right, you will see me like nicely dressed, but I've changed, right? And at one time, I loved material things. I wanted to get man, the next car. And man, I used to have one business, then got two businesses, then I got three businesses. One business, I had one location in Dallas, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go to Houston, I'm going to go to Austin, get three locations. And, you know, it's a constant cancer. And what I didn't realize was that, you know, that I have everything already, right? And the same with you. And that's why my message is from the very beginning, 2013, is that you're very powerful. You can do anything you want in life, right? All you got to do is just imagine and go for it, and have the confidence and make the decisions, because a lot of us are scared to make decisions. So the news is not bad. The news is there's a great opportunity coming, because there's going to be a wealth exchange. The bankers are going to take the people's money. Okay, big corporations are going to get stronger, but little guys like myself and people that have been following me and understand what I'm talking about, we are able to go out there and help our other fellow men, right, by saving their homes. Because in this crash, there's going to be great waves of people, right? They're going to have less jobs, less equity, less money in their 401s, inflation, etc. And they're going to be motivated people out there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to market to these people and save their home and create a win-win situations where I don't have to go to a bank, where I don't have to use my credit or use my company credit or any of that stuff. Okay, and I'll just have the seller become just called seller financing. I'll have the seller be my bank. Okay, and my only job is to dig what I call dig in my mastermind. And my mastermind, if you guys are not in it, you're missing out, dude. We meet every Saturday. My students are loving it, man. Like last week, we did a live call audit, dude. One of my students called, and I watched her, and man, people loved it, dude. I think everyone in the class loved it. You know, I have students that are like have masters in, you know, investing, and they're also real estate agents that are, you know, high up, and people that have never done deals and everything between. So it's pretty interesting. So I highly recommend joining the mastermind every Saturday called the Abundance Club at Mr. No Fluff. But coming back to the story, there's going to be so many motivated sellers, and if you have the right tool in your toolboxes, you should be able to get a lot of deals. Okay. If you only have one trick, like one trick pony, like you only know how to give a cash offer, okay, then you're probably not going to get a whole lot of deals, right? Because there's not going to be that much equity in this upcoming crash. But if you have more ideas, more tools, then you can implement. I got some comments. Let's see what people are saying. Thanks for watching in. Daniel45, what's up, man? Okay, guys, my spelling's horrible. I got some guy from Venezuela. Thanks, brother. Yeah, Ron Paul is exactly, dude. I definitely like Ron Paul. Tariff, Soraya, what's up, Soraya? Yeah, man, very good point. Soraya was talking about that. You know, if you watch Fox, they say that, hey, in Venezuela, the president, or they don't even say the president, say the dictator, but the American elected president, that's what they call the other guy, and the one that's been elected by the people, they call him a dictator. But that guy is starving his people. Well, guys, I mean, you got to be a little logical. If we're sanctioning them, then they can't get nothing. That's my point. So if we really want to get freedom, then we should open the sanctions. We should not use food and medicine and weaponize it, okay? Because what we're really good at is weaponizing things. We weaponize the dollar. We weaponize food and humanity. That's why Red Cross and other people didn't want to get into this free food giveaway, I guess, to Venezuelan people. Okay, we weaponize so much guns, and you know, as the strongest nation, we should not be bullying other countries. We should, you know, be a role model by, you know, peace. And you know, I heard the vice president talk about, you know, we're the freedom and we come in peace and, you know, liberty in this. But I think about all the countries we bombed in the last 9 years. You know, the bombs we threw on people called the mother of all bombs, and, you know, the people we called collateral damages, and from Lebanon to Iraq to Afghanistan to, man, so many things. And what type of freedom do we bring to those people, right? I don't think any. Now, if we really want to know how much freedom we brought, let's look at the Native Americans, the people that we holocausted them, right? Still to this day, we don't give these people the right respect or respect the treaties we signed with them or any of that. Okay, so the thing is, you know, we're in a situation where we just want to just conquer everyone, and I want to live in peace, with everyone else. I mean, because we can use our brains to solve so many of our problems, right? Like, instead of having central bankers print out money, for example, Bitcoin is a great savior to the elites. Like I said, Nestle having so many different companies, from the dog food industry to baby food, to clothes like Polo, all the way down to you name it. Okay, and it's hard to compete when you have this monopoly, because they're really monopolies and they don't want us to know about it. That's why they have all these little corporations, right? Different names, different brands, but it's just one owner, man, one owners. Okay, and so it's hard to compete in a situation where we have so much monopolies. Like, think about all the businesses that are monopolies. Okay, it's hard to think about it because we don't understand it. We're taught in history class and economics that there's no more monopolies, but there are this big monopolies. But here's a great thing. I think in the next crash, that I would say many Americans are going to be now self-employed. Okay, in the next crash, people are not going to be trusting big corporations anymore. They're going to get fired. Like, if you listen to some of these guys on YouTube, they're starting their businesses and they're having great success. Like I told you, you listen to them, their story is, I got laid off in my last job, or I decided to, I got fired, or something in that line, in the last crash. So in the next crash, there's going to be a lot more people that are going to go through that, which is a great thing, because, just having one company, like, that's why AT&T, Verizon, the car industry, I mean, a lot of them are sucking because there's not enough competition. If there was competition, they would have to make better product. Okay, when there is not enough competition, like, for example, Apple put out all these different companies that make laptops, right? Well, now they have horrible laptops. How do I know? Guys, I've been using Apple before Apple was cool. I've been using Apple. When you went to a Starbucks, no one had Apple, and I was the only dude there. Okay, now everyone has Apple, and their stuff horrible. Like, I bought their laptop, back-to-back keyboard problem, and they know it, but guess what? They're constantly selling that bad product out there. Okay, because there's no competition. It's just almost like a monopoly. Okay, and the same thing happens in all these industries. We have all these associations that make things into a monopoly. So what I want is you to have your business, and you to have your business, and you to have your own business. I don't want everyone to work for the Apples and the Amazons and the Walmarts and the big banks, and I want everyone to have their own business, versus so much big corporation, because big corporations are becoming the masters of men, right, versus empowering us. And the other thing is, I want people to do what they love, right? I don't want them to work for money. I want them to do what they love. If they do what they love, right? Like, for example, if I work really hard to make this, right, this rock or whatever, I package it up, I color it, I paint it, whatever, right? And then I sell this, right? Guess what? I didn't trade my time for money, right? Many of us, doesn't matter if you're a doctor, attorney, or a trash picker, you're trading your time for money, which means slavery, right? But if I put my time in to make this, and I make this out of love, whatever it is, if it's just a simple rock and I just paint it and I wrap it and I sell it, now I didn't trade my time. I made something out of love, right? And more than likely, I made this thing so good that's gonna last, because I made it out of love. And that's what I want, because if everyone was doing what they love, we'll have a better world versus, my idea versus your idea, because everyone's doing what they love. Okay, and that's the key, because if everyone does what they love, instead of demanding for government handout, like, hey, we need higher minimum wage, not understanding that the bankers are printing money. So as soon as they get that $15 minimum wage, inflation catches up. They don't understand that. Okay, so it's too complex. But what we need is everyone to do what they love. When they do what they love, then great things happen. So the secret, I think, of life is to do what you love, okay, and to be a loving person. Because when that happens, then great things happen, not only to you, but to everyone around you, guys. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let's see if we have some more comments. Brout Studio says everything's corrupt and fake. And man, you know what, man? I think you're 100% right, dude. And if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would say, man, you're crazy wrong. And that's because I was in a material world, and I wanted to make a lot of money and buy. I wasn't like many other people that spend it frugally because I was a refugee to America. But my ideas have definitely changed by going homeless, okay, and for 2 years and giving all my stuff to homeless people. And and I can tell you, to simplify it, is if every one of you guys did what you truly love, and it wasn't about money, and if you were a service provider and you met that person, you put your heart into them, and you didn't sell your soul for money, so you really try to help that person out, no matter if you're not going to get any money, right? It doesn't matter to you. Then I think the world will be a better place. If you're making this little rock or whatever it is, product, and you make it out of love, and you really like, then that will change not only you but the other people. And I think that's the easiest thing to realize, that we need to trade with people, and we need to have love for ourselves so we can have love for other people. All right, good point, bro. 41 says Trump is not any better than the liberals or their other puppets. I'm not really a politic guy, but yeah, man, let's keep going. Some Boy Scout study says I'm ready to do my first subject to flip. Okay, very, very good. Okay, now many people that want to do fix and flip, they think they have to go to hard money. They think they have to go borrow money for hard money, or they think they have to have a pile of money. But I don't like to do fix and flips because it's so time consuming. But I teach my students, if they want to do fix and flips, is to have the seller give you their loan just for that short period of time, so you can rehab it, and then you just give the seller a little bit more money, okay, when you close, on your closing, not on the first closing with the seller, but on the second closing. That way you don't have to go to hard money lending and pay all those points. This is an opinion. It's not financial advice by any shape or means. Someone else says the media is weaponized. Absolutely, dude. Okay, the education is weaponized. That and I'm starting to see that. That's why I'm not gonna put my kid into school, right? I'm not gonna put him into school because I remember that when I was a kid, I hated going to school. I hated going to school. I hated to sit there for 8 hours a day. Now, sounds crazy, but I want my kid to be disobedient. It sounds really crazy, right? Because disobedience is the cause for creativity, right? If you follow the box, you can't be creative, man. Right? You got to be disobedient to be able to be creative. Now that sounds really crazy, but like I want my kid to do what I tell her to do, but at the same time, I want her to think. I want her to question me, right? I want her to question other people, and I want her to come to her own conclusions, right? So yeah, I'm not gonna let my kid to go to. Not that I'm not gonna let her, but whenever she's ready, she's that age that she wants to go, then she can go. But at this time, I'm not gonna put her elementary or preschool, or because I think that those stuff dumb her down versus boost her up, because I don't want her to think she's an A or a B or a C or a D. I don't want her to think that, because to me, she's everything. Just like you guys are everything. You got to close your eyes, think about it. Your cells, man, they can heal you, they can fix you when you're cut, they digest your food, everything works perfectly, right? And that's how you are, dude. You're incredible. I don't know how else to say it, but you just got to believe in yourself and free yourself, because a job sucks, dude. Let's face it. You work hard for the man. The man makes all the fucking money. You work hard, you hardly make any money. And whatever you make is not that much, because central bankers are printing money, right? So that's why it's better to be your dreams, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay. Someone says, do you pay attention to Brixlet? Okay. Meg Evil. Hey guys, sorry man. I'm a refugee in America. My spelling and English are very weak, so I can't read your name, but I can read the message because that's more easy. It says, do you pay attention to Brixlet? Yes, I do. Again, I don't watch news, but I do keep my ear on the streets to see what is going on. For some reason, I've been very, very blessed to have an insight. Like for example, in the last market crash, 2006 fourth quarter, I knew the market had already crashed, right? But as a refugee, my dad didn't speak any English. My mom's illiterate, so I started reading books about to get into stocks because I thought that was the way to go. But then I quickly realized that I can't control stocks. There's so many paper ass, and I was like, no. I'm gonna get into real estate, okay? And the story goes on. But I was so ahead. Okay, same thing with gold. That's why I said, hey man, 2015, 2016, I'm getting out of the real estate and I'm getting into gold. Okay, and you can see that gold's gone up since 2016. It was 25, 11.19 when I bought it. Now it's like 13.40, 13.28. Goes up and down, but it's up, right? And same thing with real estate. I knew that 2006 was very close to the edge of the bubble popping, but I'm not a what is it? What do they call that stuff? Someone that is a fortune teller. I can sense that, hey man, it's getting dangerous. So that's why I was out. So yes, I do watch what's going on around Europe. That's why I know Italy's in trouble. That's why I know what's going on with Greece, bank runs, bail-ins, and what's going on in France. I mean, just look at it. Why are people so upset? Well, too much printing of the money, man. Too much printing of the money increases inflation. People don't understand that, and so we're gonna keep printing money, which is gonna cause civil unrest, or we don't print money and we have crash. That's the only two solutions anymore, man, because interest rates or everything's still down. So we're gonna keep printing money, and we're gonna kind of kick the can, as they say in America, down the road, and then eventually we're gonna have civil unrest, right? Or we all go through it right now, like what we should have went last time. Okay, the whole thing is rigged. They have fake money, and they have everyone working for it, and it goes like this, and they rig it, so they choose to decide if they're gonna pop it or keep it going. And either way, it doesn't matter, because if you know how the game is played, then you could make significant wealth and help out your brothers and sisters, because a lot of people are going to be ignorant. They don't know how amortization works. They don't know how central bankers work. They don't know how, when the banker says your house is appraised this, it really may not sell for that for cash if you really want it. They don't understand all that stuff, okay? When a real estate agent says the market is good, hot, they don't understand it. That means that's the worst time to buy real estate, because it's so top. Okay, so there's gonna be great opportunities. Like someone said, they're gonna get their first subject to deals. Great opportunity to buy subject to. Now, guys, if you want to learn how to find these motivated sellers, how to do seller financing, subject to, wholesale, fix and flip, landlording, start a business, you should definitely join my mastermind at mrnofluff.com. It's just $76 a month. It's less than your phone bill, and your phone bill is a liability for you, where this is going to put money into your pocket. And I'm just look at my success stories at Mr. No Fluff. See my students for what they have done. Okay, let's see if we have any more comments. Okay, a gentleman that talked about Brexit also said that the ECBs took control of another bank this weekend. So I don't know what the EBC is, but I'm assuming it's probably like what we have in America called the what is it, FDIC. Something like that, okay? But I live in USA. I'm sure you live somewhere else. Well, let's see what else it says. Guys, if you have any questions about real estate, leave it down. I'll be happy to answer it for you. Awesome, Dan. Gotcha. Thanks for sharing, dude. Yeah, it's going to be interesting times coming up, man. I'm super pumped up. I brought to you guys that 2019 is when I'm getting back into the real estate. 2016 I exited. 2019 I'm getting back. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 years. Didn't mess with it. I help my students do deals because you can still wholesale and do fix and flip, but it's getting dangerous with fix and flips. There's people that I know that do these deals, and the fix and flips are not making any money right now because the markets are changing slowly but surely. Okay, thanks for watching. Click the like button and let's share this message to everyone. See you, gang.